Hey guys, it's Mike. Today on the show, we're going to talk about 5 reasons why I think physical media is here to stay for the near future and maybe even longer. Some reasons I think physical media, CDs, tapes, records, DVDs, VHS, it'll be around for a while. Stick around and I'll tell you why. Okay, reason number 1, and probably the biggest reason I think, is nostalgia. And my generation was the one that saw the transition from CDs and physical media to streaming. That was when I was kind of, 20 years old, something around that. And, at a prime time for buying music. And that's the Napster thing came out and all of that. I might have been 19, I don't remember. But around that time, is when things started to transfer over, and I, had already accumulated quite a few records and CDs at that point, and I thought, oh, this is cool for free. But there were things that I didn't like about it, like the not having the liner notes, and I always would take those and burn them to a CD to have anyway on my shelf, and I don't know, it never really hit with me. Streaming never really made it with me. So I think a lot of us were in the same boat, and nowadays we're nostalgic for that time where you did go and line up at the record store for a new release, and you went to the mall because there was a new CD from Metallica or Guns N' Roses or somebody coming out, and you had to be there when it came out, and that doesn't exist anymore. But we are nostalgic for that time, and I think we connected with those bands a lot more because of that. And so I think nostalgia is the number one driving force behind this, whether it's VHS, cassette tapes, records, all of this stuff. It relates to a time in our life that was simpler, maybe a lot less stress, and it takes us back to those memories. So I think nostalgia is a big driving force behind this. Number 2 on my list is the thrill of the hunt, and I think a lot of us collectors enjoy going and finding this and sorting through a bin of junk and finding the hidden gem. As much as any part of this. Yes, it's all about the music, right? But I don't know, a lot of us out there digging when we haven't listened to stuff that we've bought already. And I think the hunt is a huge part of collecting. So whether you collect anything, whether it's not even music related, I think the hunt for something, a new score, and finding that hidden treasure is a huge driving force behind this. And that's why I think it'll continue to be popular, and that'll lead me into reason number 3. I think number 3 should be the fact that people enjoy collecting things. I feel whatever it is that you collect, whether it's stamps or baseball cards or physical media or antiques or whatever it happens to be, artwork, there is something inside us that enjoys collecting things, for those of you who do like that. Some people, no interest in that at all. Others, I know I can see it in all of us when we're out. It's like that person's a collector, I can tell. I just tell. So I think there's something in us that enjoys collecting and organizing the collection and sorting and researching and all that other stuff that comes with it. I think is as enjoyable as the end result of listening to whatever we're getting. So I think the enjoyment of collecting at number 3 is another main reason why this will stick around. Number 4 is renting versus owning. Streaming is very portable. It's easy to use. You can find anything you're looking for to a point. I'm going to get to that in a second. But you're not owning this. And at any moment, the streaming services can decide that they're going to up their price. And you have no say in this. You either go and look for all of your music again, or you pay $10 a month more than you were. And that's kind of what I feel is going to happen. I think there's going to be all of a sudden, what's stopping them from upping the price? What's stopping them from deleting artists that they don't like, or vice versa, artists pulling out and saying, like a prime example, I don't believe Garth Brooks is on any streaming platforms. I don't think. I might be wrong there, but there are artists who have just said, you know what, I'm not doing that. I don't need to do that. I'm not going to do that. And it's a different kind of connection with the music that way. So I think that is a huge element, renting versus owning. when you own the product that you've bought, you can listen whenever you want. It'll never go up in price. You own it. It's just going to have no limitations. And the other thing is, there's a lot of music that has never made streaming services, that just, psychedelic bands from the 60s and things like that, that you can only buy the record of. You can't get this any other way. And the streaming services keep up to date on like recent remixes and things like that. So if you want an original mono playthrough, it might be gone now because they've put some remixed deluxe version on there now that you can't get that original one anymore, or you can't get that mix anymore. So to have these in our reference libraries is something that's maybe a little more special to us than it would be the average person, but it's something that I think we can all relate to and sort of say, like, I remember that. That's the one that has that guitar line in it that they took out when they did this thing, all things like that. So that's another reason why I think this will be continually popular for years to come. Number 5 is sound quality, and although streaming is getting very good, it didn't used to be as good as the actual music we have. And the players that you can listen on, old analog equipment and things like that, do sound pretty good. So sound quality is definitely up there. There's a few other reasons why I think just the tactile experience of the actual album, liner notes, cover art, with vinyl you have colored pressings and things like that. People don't come over to your house to flip through your computer to look through your streams that you've downloaded. They like to look through your record collection. It helps identify, you can tell what type of person you are. And I think, people, it's a more real experience to have that physical thing in your hand, or to sort of sit down and listen to it as an experience rather than, I use streaming for working in the garden. For cutting the grass or whatever it is, or I'm a musician. Sometimes I need playlists that I need to play through to rehearse. I'm a music teacher. I have to sometimes just find songs that I don't own myself. That is where streaming is handy for me, and where I think both are going to be a viable source for a long time. But as a music fan, I really can't say it's ever taken the place of having the physical thing in my hand, listening to it here in my studio, and reading about it in the liner notes and things like that, finding out who produced it and who mixed it and that sort of thing, having it all right there. I think it's a cool thing, and as a music collector, I enjoy having that here. So that is a few reasons why I believe that physical media will stick around for the near future anyways, and maybe years to come past that. Things that I think will get in the way of this is, a lot of the physical media collectors out there, we're buying stuff on the secondary market. So we're buying used records, used CDs, used cassette tapes, used VHS, whatever it is. And eventually, some of the better stuff in those categories will just be too difficult to find. Collectors will already own it, and what's out there might not be available. So that may dry things up and make it more and more difficult to do this. It might make it where it's very challenging, and then that obviously supply and demand, that will drive up prices. And we've seen that in the record market already. I think it will happen with CDs as well eventually. But for now, it's kind of, you can find things with a little bit of searching and digging and availability online and that sort of thing. So it's out there for now, but 20 years from now, I'm not sure what that'll look like. Who knows? But I think streaming will not go away either. I think we'll still see people streaming movies and streaming music for many years to come. I think they'll just run side by side, but eventually physical media will dry up, just based on the inevitability that collectors are going to own it all. But that will take a long time, and I don't think the desire to have it or the search to collect it will dry up. So it's something that is a bit of a time capsule now for most people, and I think it'll continue to be so, and we'll see that for a long time to come. So let me know in the comments what you think about all of that, and give me your opinion, and see if I'm completely wrong here, or if you think there is a market for this for the future. Thanks for watching.